guys. Hello, hello. I hope all is well in your world. I know it is amazing in mine. Um, I'm here to actually share something really powerful with you guys. I was holding it. I was waiting on a lot of people to get their embodiment product, and so um, one moment. Okay, so hey Rachel, friend. Hey Jocelyn, Victoria and Liz, Kia, Charlene, Ethel, Tanisha, Kimberly, and Shelly. So, yeah, so anyway, I've been waiting. I'm so excited about this. So you can tag some people. How many of you guys bought any of the embodiment line? The embodiment fragrance, the embodiment oil, candle, butter, anything like that, the embodiment bath. How many of you guys? I'm trying to remember. I don't think I I don't think I put the embodiment bath on the website yet. I gotta send it to David, my bad. But how many of you got some embodiment products? Because I'm about to give you some words real quick. Words have power, how you use them, and what you mean by them. Hey Naki, hey Tressa, Natina, Robin. Oh, good. Okay, okay. Yeah, we had y'all listen. Let me just tell y'all, I love y'all so much. I love y'all because y'all love the hell out of me. But listen, we sold damn near 700 body butters. We are still making body butters to fill orders. Let me say this too. Let me just say this. Um, for those that are in business, and then I'm gonna come back to why I'm doing this embodiment thing and about words. But sometimes you don't really realize what success look like. You're dreaming about it and you're hoping. I remember, damn, what's that girl name? Kylie Jenner, maybe, who sold like a million lipsticks or kits or whatever she came out with over the course of a weekend. It was something like that. But she sold a bunch of shit. Like she sold out in like a weekend or whatever it was. Some of you guys probably remember. Anyway, I remember when I read about that or I seen it on Newsbreak or something like that, and I was like, man, if I could do that, you know what I'm saying? I remember feeling that energy of to just sell out in a weekend. And but you don't really think about what you're asking for. We sold so many body butters that I basically had to have Aubrey come in and whip butters, and then there's Leela whipping butters. We're constantly now trying to keep up or catch up with the butter creation. And I wouldn't have thought that embodiment was going to outdo Rich Bitch as far as the launch of it, but yeah, it did. Not the oil, but definitely the butter and the fragrance. Anyway, so let me tell y'all what we're here for. I'm gonna give you first this thing. When I created embodiment, there was a specific set of words I used over myself when I started using it. I am, adamant about making sure you're setting the temperature of the magic. In other words, you're setting your intention. You are setting the energy moving forward. You're telling the magic how to work in your life. That's not my job to try to tell the magic how to work in your life. It's your job to make sure you're directing that excess energy or that extra energy or that boost of energy you're getting toward what it is that you decide that you want, whatever it is you're working for. For me personally, my own way of charging this and wearing it, I got it on now, the embodiment fragrance, right, and butter. But my own way of doing it was saying, I embody power, prestige, and prosperity. The three P's have been important to me way back since when I was a Christian, but the three P's, for whatever reason, maybe it's charmed. I don't know whatever put me up on these three P's, but hell, I've been on the P3 ride for a long ass time, even before mysticism. But when things flow for me, I got a mind that kind of flows poetically. When it flows for me, my magic flows easier. Flow is important in magical movements, right? So I embody power, prestige, prosperity. Every time I use it, when I spray it on, when I rub it on, when I use the oil in the candles, when I use the oil, my oil is sitting right back there, as a matter of fact. Just finished getting used because today is Jupiter Day and I've been about that shit all morning long. But you always want to set your own intentions. Now, maybe for you, power is not important. I can't imagine why it wouldn't be. Okay? And maybe prestige is not important to you. And maybe prosperity is not important to you. So you have to choose what is important to you. What do you embody? I embody love. I embody health or healing or wholeness or wellness or whatever the case may be. What's important to you? What are you working on right now? And it doesn't have to be limited to one thing, two things, or three things. You can embody as much as you want to embody. Okay? Yes. So if you're going to be using it and you're in alignment with the statements that I have made, you fortify that statement over yourself because that same statement went into the creation of the product. So it's power, prestige, prosperity. And I'm going to tell you why. Because some of you may be still yet a little lost just because of the definition. So I'm explaining to you how I created that product and what I was thinking. So for me, power is number one because power is not about what you can do to other people. Power is about what you're able to do for yourself, right? So for me, being a victim of sexual abuse before, being a victim of domestic violence before in my life, power is important because there has been times where I didn't have power or I didn't know how to step into my power and I was subjected to terrible treatment, okay? And so power helps you to own yourself. It helps you to direct your energy. It helps you to move in a certain way so that you're able to do what you want to do with this life. Having power over yourself is having the power to choose who you are, what you're up to, what you stand for, right? It's also about having the power to defend yourself, okay? That's important. I ain't never been a person who felt the need to have power over anybody else unless they seek to destroy me, hurt me, harm me, slow me down, get the fuck in my way. Then in that case, okay, you're trying to exert your power over me and I'm not going to allow it. So whatever has to happen to you for that to fail, then that's just what has to happen to you. But for me, power is very personal. If it ain't personal, it ain't real anyway. That's the truth. Because if your power is if it comes from other people, they can take it back whenever they get ready. Okay? Prestige. Y'all know I talk about integrity a lot. One thing I have never been proven to be is a liar. If I said it, that's the fuck I said, that's the fuck I mean. If I'm guilty, then I'm guilty. If you term me guilty, you can term me guilty. I say these are the facts, and these are the facts of my fucking life, whether they are pretty or ugly, right? So I have integrity. If I say I'm gonna do a thing, I'm gonna do that thing. And the only way I don't do that thing is that thing don't need to be done and something happens. And then in that case, I come back to that same place and say something different. So integrity has been important to me, right? And so prestige kind of builds off of that foundation of integrity and lifts you up high, right? And this is the thing. I'm going to say this, okay? And I'm going to say it in the most non-messy way possible because I can be a mess sometimes, right? There are a lot of people who want to be honored and lifted up, okay? But what would you be lifting up and what would you be honoring? Even with me, myself, when I look at myself and even when I'm making that statement, you know, I embody power, prestige, prosperity. When I think about prestige, I ask myself, what parts of you deserve to be lifted up? What is it that you have done to deserve to be a leader, for people to look at you, for people to follow you? How do you feel that you're the best person to be lifted to a space of prestige? In what places are you eligible? I look at myself like that all the time. And so prestige is not only about the foundation of integrity, but it is about what it is in you that's worth other people looking at and looking to, that could inspire them and help make their lives better. But also it's still personal because it's about you being proud of yourself. You being able to elevate yourself. You being able to do the work inside of yourself that makes you that bitch. Okay? That one. Not this bitch over here or that bitch over there. That bitch right here. This one. Right? This is the person that you are. Why? Why? Why is it important? So for me personally, prestige for me was about the fact that I come from nothing. You know, prestige and notoriety are important for me because I represent something that a lot of people who are out there are not representing or not representing it well. I represent the underdog well, okay? I represent possibilities well. I represent independence and freedom well. And I also represent the fact that this idea that everybody has been giving you, that everything has to be perfect and everything has to go a certain way for your life to have any chance of success is bullshit, and it is. But it's also, so it's a lot in there. I ain't gonna give y'all my whole playbook, okay? But there is also that part, it's like you can fuck up and still get it together, okay? And just because you have fucked up don't mean that you have to embrace the life of being a fuck up, right? At that same time, for a person who desires to do great things with their life, you got to understand the cost of great things, the cost of greatness, the cost of power. Where does power come from? It comes from overcoming. Where does greatness come from? It comes from building and overcoming. Where does all of these things come from that we say we want? A lot of time, experience. Experience meaning we're building, we're growing from, growing through, and we're learning. We're present with what hurts, what we should feel, what we shouldn't feel, what should happen, what shouldn't happen. We're present in all of these struggles, and we are engaged through it so that we're actually learning. Because everybody don't go through shit the same way. Some people disconnect and they just go from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing, and they are never improved in the mind, they're never improved in the heart, and their actions never change because they're really not present. They're not allowing themselves to see the whole picture. How the fuck did I get here? That's a question I ask myself. I ask myself a lot of times in life, just like, how the fuck I get here? How the hell did this happen? And it's just like you have to stop and ask yourself, like, okay, wait a minute. What just happened? What just happened here? And then when you stop and you ask yourself that question, you're like, okay, all right. So yeah, I know not to do that shit again because the outcome is not what I want. So prestige for me is about having the integrity and the power, okay? And the wisdom to stand above the crowd, because there's a lot of people who want to stand above people. Some of them, they just because they were damaged and they were, bullied maybe. They got something to prove to everybody else, but they ain't figured out what they need to prove to themselves yet. And I think that's tragic, right? Everybody that want to be lifted don't deserve to be lifted. And so for people who do deserve it, let me just get this to you real quick. For people who do deserve it, you do the world a disservice by sitting silently on the sidelines watching all the bullshit. If you would do what you were sent here to do, it would be less fools out here doing what they are doing and fucking things up. You think that it's cool that you get to sit at home and watch it all on TV and be like, that's why I don't this and that's why I don't that. No, you're judging yourself as guilty. That's why I don't, that's why I don't. See, they ought to do this and they ought to do this. And you got all of these solutions, but you ain't doing shit, so you are literally judging against yourself. It's true. Hey, Anita. I missed y'all too. And so, when the wise or silent fools talk loudly, a lot, it is what it is. So we have to lift up the parts of us that's worth lifting up, and we can't be afraid of what's going to happen when we do it. Yeah, are people going to have something to say? Of course they are. They got something to say now. You just not high enough to hear it all. Okay, because most of the people you know in with their ass talking about you too. So right now you ain't in a position to know the fullness of it. But if you get higher, you're gonna know a lot more of it, and that still doesn't mean that you're moving in the wrong direction. Now I'm gonna tell you the other part. So it's power to prestige, but to prosperity. So I'm gonna say this because I deal with this a lot. Right now I got the money mentorship going on. Love it, motherfucking love it. I love talking about money. I love talking about building from nothing. I love talking about business. I love talking about investments. I love the whole aspect of what I represent. I'm not here for people who are already rich. I'm not here for people who always knew this shit. I'm here for the people who didn't know. Hell, the only thing they know about a checkbook is you write a check and the money come out your account. They don't understand fully credit. They don't understand the power of a 700, 750, 800 credit score, 850. They don't understand the power of liquidity with their cash, and they don't understand a lot of stuff. They don't know how to get into real estate. They don't know how to get into crypto. They don't know how to get into stocks and bonds and stuff like that, and holding notes and angel investing. They are unaware of all the possibilities, of all the things that they could do. So I'm gonna tell you, I love money mentorship. It has excited my soul like nothing before it ever, really, to be honest. And so but in the process of that, I meet a lot of people who they are conflicted within about what they really want. Well, I don't really need all of that. I don't really need all of that. I don't need that either. And this, and we have been taught that life is all about getting what you need. Yeah, if you're poor, yeah. If you're poor and you got 3-4 damn kids and this refrigerator empty, life is kind of about getting what you need. We need to feed these fucking kids today. We got to make sure we send them some lunch money to school. We need to pay this light bill. We need to pay the gas bill because we got to keep the heat on, right? But when you're not poor, then what? Poor people tend to think that life is a certain way. So this sounds so fucked up. Okay, y'all just have mercy. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Just have mercy, because a bitch gonna be how she is all the days of her motherfucking life unless she see fit to change. So what had happened was, I'm having this conversation with a couple of friends, and you know, we're chit-chatting and this and that, and she's trying to put me on, right? And any other time, it really would have been a put on. You know, like if she had came up 6 years ago with that, I'd have been like, oh my God, hell yeah, because I need to save some money. But she was just like, and see, what you need to do is this and this and this, and then you sign up for that, and then they send you this, and then you're going to save a certain amount of money. It might take a few months, but then you could save a few $100s. And I'm like, a few months for a few $100 in my head, like, God damn, it ain't worth it. You know what I'm saying? To save $200, I'm not gonna go to a website and fill out a bunch of paperwork to save $200 on shit. I'm telling you the truth. If a motherfucker got a rebate and I gotta mail this bitch in to get a couple $100, it probably will go in the trash, because at this point, the effort of getting that $200 ain't worth it to me because of what my minutes are worth, what I bring back per minute. And I was trying to shut the fuck up, because y'all know I do be trying. Y'all might not know it. But believe you me, most of the time I spend my time trying to shut the fuck up, because I really, really don't ever want to make anybody feel like I'm shitting on them, because I don't like that energy. So I'm trying to shut the fuck up, but she being really persistent. And my other friend was like showing me how much money she had saved on the app. And I was like, oh, I said, first of all, I don't need to save money. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, for me, convenience is more important than saving at this point in my life. I want shit easy. I want it quick as possible. I want it simple. That's where I'm at, and I can afford to pay for it. Me saving a couple dollars, if it give me a fucking headache, ain't worth it to me. And she just looked at me. I was like, a bitch not broke. And she was like, you're not broke. You know what I'm saying? It's like it had to dawn on her too. And I was sitting there trying not to remind her, because you know I ain't trying to be like that. But I'm like, and when y'all with me, don't be doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? I pay for it before I have you doing all that extra shit. And we sitting up here in the damn line, and I'm sitting here with a headache looking around like it's a line building up behind us. Just don't do that shit. So, but it's a lot of people who have issue with wealth. They don't want to struggle, but they're scared to take it a step further. So I find myself always, you know, kind of like wrestling with their paradigms. It is people in the world who has never had a disconnect notice. There are people in the world who has never had a hungry day unless they chose not to eat that day. There are people in the world who don't struggle and do not know struggle the way that maybe you and I have. And it's not fair for another motherfucker who has only known struggle to start telling you about what you ought to be happy with. Fuck you and your motherfucking opinion. This is my fucking life. I refuse to be limited by somebody else's opinion or their potential judgments. Now, you think I give a fuck about what a motherfucker said the other day? I just got off the website, BMW website, because I can't find what the fuck I want. So if you can't find what you want, they got websites. You can build your car from the ground up. I want white on fucking white. And then I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I want white on white, but do I want white on white? I want it, but then am I going to really let somebody ride in that bitch? So I'm back and forth, and I built the car exactly how I wanted it, because I hadn't been able to find it. And they gave me a price amount, which I could pay cash easily, just like that if I want to. So hubby says, I see you building a BMW. I was like, yep. I was like, I need a 4-door convertible. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to stunt with my friends and that kind of shit. So, because you can only stunt with one person at a time in the Porsche. It's a 2-seater, and the Jag is a 2-seater, right? So I was like, it's gonna be, a 4-seater. It's like it's a 8 Series convertible. So, I'm feeling real special because that's top of the line and all that kind of shit. And he said, so what you getting rid of? I was like, huh? Getting rid of? Getting rid of? Did I say something about getting rid of something? It's like, well, where you gonna park it, right? It's gonna be people gonna have something to say whenever I decide whatever other kind of vehicle I'm about to buy, because I won't have just 4, I'll have 5, plus his truck, which makes 6. That's their problem. If they have a problem, let them have a problem. If you decide that you want to live in $1 million home surrounded by people who may or may not like your type, okay? If that's what you decide, you want to move into the hills some fucking where and have an acre and have $1.5 million ranch, fuck what a person in the projects has to say about it. You are living your life for you. And if you the type to say, I'm going to be rich in the hood all the days of my life, then that's commendable. Good for you. Fuck what everybody else say about how you got to come out the hood and how you can't stay there. They speaking for themselves. Every person you ever meet is always speaking from their own perspective. And when it comes to money, it gets heated. Okay? Everybody got a serious ass opinion about your pockets, my pockets, and they can't do shit for their own pockets. You cannot afford to borrow grandma and them story about struggle if you really want to be wealthy. Somebody said, I wouldn't even know what to do with wealth. Hell, do you know what to do with poverty? I mean, think about the poverty you in. Do you really know what to do with it, though? You wouldn't know what to do with wealth just means it's an adventure waiting for you to embark upon it. You can learn anything, my loves. You can learn anything. You've been learning all of your life. You will continue until the day that you die. Sometimes I see old people that have their phone. I'm talking about old people like 60-some-year-olds, and then they and you trying to give them a number. It's their old auntie, your great aunt, some shit like that. They damn near 70, and they like, now what you say your number is? Baby, just put it in this phone. Wait a minute, hold on. Let me see how to unlock it. Okay, it just won't even take my fingerprint. That's how they be doing. But they be figuring it out as they go. You see them in there moving slow, and you like, Lord have mercy, I should have just wrote it on a damn piece of paper. Because that's what they're used to. But they still got these smart-ass phones, and they slow than a motherfucker using them, but they are learning, and they are moving along, right along with the rest of the world, because they don't have a choice. You are always learning, so don't be intimidated because you got to learn some shit that other people have made you feel like it's this big. Money ain't that big. Money's simple than a motherfucker. It ain't that big. All of you, every single person listening to me, you know a lot of shit way more complicated than money. A lot of shit. Power, prestige, prosperity is meant to be all-encompassing. It's all about having self-control, self-mastery. It's all about having integrity, and it's all about having whatever the fuck you need to have a good-ass life and not have to be worried about other people. One of the reasons why some people falter on this journey, and this is the truth, is because they don't know what life looks like outside of chaos and confusion. They don't know what life looks like outside of a beef, a supposed beef. And I'm going to tell you something. Social media is kind of a bitch. I'm going to tell you why I say that. It's a lot of people who will do a lot of shit on social media that they will not do in real time. Okay? And I respect it. Hell, even I will do some things on social media that I want to do in real time. I send hug emojis to a lot of people, a big kiss emoji to some people, because I just love you. But if you was in person, I wouldn't be hugging on your ass. I'm just not that person. I'm not a big time hugger. I do it, but I have to prepare my mind. Like, you supposed to be touching people. Okay? And people supposed to be touching you. So be prepared, be ready. It's like, But on social media, I can send you all the hugs and love and kisses and all that stuff in the world. But I'm not really a kissing type. I'm not a kissy face person, right? So all of us are allowed certain things because of social media, but some people take it too far. And so they start to voice opinions, not realizing the weight of those opinions with the world. There are always going to be the strongly opinionated, domineering, forceful ass people like me, and there will always be the weaker, milder, easy to influence people that's out there as well. And for the dominant forces to never take a pause to understand their influence on those who are easily influenced, well, you lack integrity. You don't give a damn. You're not meant to be a leader. Not a actual leader. We all lead somebody. But if you don't give a fuck about who following you and how they turn out, embodiment is about everythingness. I'm going to be doing the class again this year. I'm going to be doing Sacred Seal again this year. Yeah, this year going to be the return of the hits that y'all been asking for. Because I actually got time now. I got a fully staffed business. Only thing is, I know I'm going to have to slow down when we do launch Dimensions Lounge and everything. I was up there the other day looking in there and I was just like, oh my God. And do y'all know that out of all this time we spent, it didn't hit me until yesterday? We did not put a bathroom upstairs. The day before yesterday, when I went up there, I was like, man, this is so perfect. And then I was looking at the owner's box and I was like, oh, we ain't got no bathroom upstairs, do we? And the contractor was like, no. I was like, oh, Lord, because we need a bathroom upstairs. And then he said, well, don't do nothing right now. First, let's get the occupancy license when all this work is finished, and then you can come back in and add it in. It won't be nothing to do. He said, do you do it right now? We got to get re-permitted and all kind of other stuff and get re-inspected and some more shit. So I'm like, okay, whatever. But it had just hit me. So I know when that happens, I'm going to have to slow down again. But we're going to have embodiment again. We're going to have 33 days to abundance again. We're going to have a sacred seal again. So we got a lot. We're doing Healing Oasis now. That has kicked off. You can sign up at divinityacademy.com. But yeah, it's just a lot going on because it takes a lot to build a life that's bigger than what you're living. And so embodiment for me is about becoming whatever it is that you desire. For me, who wrapped that song? I can't remember. He said, I'm a walking lick. Every time he said that, I'd be like, because it's like, yep, that's me. It's like, but for me, I want to be a walking embodiment of prosperity, a walking embodiment of opportunity, a walking embodiment of possibilities. There is not anything that you can dream that is absolutely unreachable to you. Sometimes the unreachable part comes in that the cost of admission is more than you have or are willing to pay. Okay? But even when it's more than you have, it ain't nothing that you can't get. I look at the years that I've been doing this, and I put a lot of time and soul, energy, and everything else into building what I have built. And contrary to what a lot of other people have done, let's just be honest, this is the most holistic environment of spirituality ever created. I ain't saying that lightly. I know that there are people who had whole acres and they had it built up where you could go and sit with the gods and all that kind of stuff. And they had a lot of different things going on, but they didn't have social media like we do now, so that they couldn't teach thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon tens of thousands at a time. They were limited by the lack of technology, but they built great things. In this time, which is my time, there is this hub that has been built that when you put the arms and the legs on that hub, it's far reaching, right? And I don't take that for granted because it's just a very beautiful thing that we're doing. On the other hand, there's always a cost to that kind of stuff, loves. And the cost can be devastating to you personally if you're not grounded, if you're not centered, if you're not moving from a space of you are the things that you're doing. When you're doing some things that's contrary to you, it's going to break you eventually. If you're saying things, if you're trying to portray an image that's contrary to you, it's going to break you eventually. But when you are the thing that you do, oh man, your are and do will fortify each other. It creates this circle of restoration or rejuvenation, and that's beautiful. It's beautiful. Here recently, you know, I discovered I got put off quite a few islands. For what reason, I don't know. You know what I mean? Don't really care. I have to be honest. You know, it'd be nice if I did care more, I guess, for some people, to feel like they were more important than they were. But I found out I got voted off of a few islands, and all I felt was relief, right? When I look at my friends, and people I really mean, they're my friends, okay? All of them are self-sufficient. You know why? Because I can't afford a friendship with somebody who needs me to babysit them. I can't afford a friendship with someone who needs me to hold their hand and show up for them every week. I'm not that kind of friend. I'm not going to talk to you every day. I'm not going to talk to you every week. I am not going to always be there. And some people have been taught that that's what friendship means. And in that case, I guess I can't ever be anybody's friend. I am the kind of friend who will give you whatever I can to make sure you're fortified for the journey. I'm the type that will be there when I need to be there. Every battle ain't my battle. Every fight ain't my fight. And every moment I don't need to be present for. That's maturity. That's truth, right? So when I was creating Embodiment, one of the things that came up for me, because I had done the course, and a lot of people jumped in because Embodiment and the experience of what I was saying, that first experience or touch of that energy, it was like, oh, this is what I want. But then there's so much of that is all about what you do, what you speak, what you expose yourself to, that it was like, wait a minute, this is a lot of work. And it's in that moment I realized many people don't feel worthy of the work that it takes to get what they are creating for themselves. So when I was creating Embodiment, one of the things that I took into consideration was the fact that a lot of people still don't know how to see themselves. You are absolutely the most important player in your life. Rachel in Rachel's life is absolutely, undeniably the MV motherfucking P. She has to be. Without Rachel, there is no Rachel's life. Without Tressa, there is no Tressa's life. You have to make sure you remember that you are the reason in your life. Your life surrounds you. You're centered in this. When you drop the core out, when you take you out of your life, then there is no more your life. Now, for a lot of people, they have been taught to live like that, and in that sense, your life force is being used only for other people. I use my life force for other people all the time, but I choose it. I choose to do it. I choose when I'm going to do it, and I know how to restore myself. But when you are made slave to other people, you can't think for yourself. You can't choose your own friends. You can't choose your own Facebook followers and shit like that. You can't choose the kind of food you want to eat, and you can't choose the kind of clothes you want to wear. You better not wear leather. You better not eat meat. You better not follow that bitch, and that hoe right there is a motherfucker. You can't do nothing for yourself. You belong to me, right? It's like in that space, which we all have moments, because I'm going to tell you, the one moment that most women cannot escape is when a baby is first born. Yeah, bitch, you that baby slave. You know what I'm saying? They're just gone, just accept shit. Therefore, just a brief moment, this little newborn had you wrapped around that fucking finger, and they was running shit like a damn tyrant. Because newborns are not democratic in their views or activities or needs at all. It's like, I want to eat, bitch. It's like, let me go get this ball. I'm wet. Oh, shit, let me change this diaper. I'm woke. It's like, oh, my fucking God. Speaking of which, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is making me want to have a baby at 46 just talking about it. I'm sorry, y'all. The thought just hit me like, is that really what you want to go through? had a moment. But anyway, it's like, you're a slave to the needs and the desires of other people. And we have been taught that that's a grand thing to sacrifice yourself like that. And so we don't know always how to make ourselves that priority. Like when our bodies say, I'm tired, then we honor it with rest. When our bodies say that I'm hungry or I'm thirsty, we honor it with food or water. When our soul says, I need grounding, I need fortification from the earth, we honor it by going out and grounding. It's like, if we could honor that aspect of ourselves more, it's like, oh, okay, you know what I'm saying? This is what that's like. Because each person is supposed to do that for themselves. See, if motherfuckers would do that shit for themselves, they wouldn't need other people to do it, right? But they don't know how. And so people who don't know how to fortify themselves, they draw energy from people who don't know how to fortify themselves to be fortified. And you end up with a whole slew of brokenness. Embodiment is about fully owning yourself, all of yourself. There is a part of you that's great. That's everybody. Some people, they let their greatness go dormant so that they can be pieces of shit. And you know what? That's their choice, because they have the sovereign right to be a piece of shit. Some people are dog turds and some people are kings. Every motherfucking person on the planet is not a king, and everybody not a fucking divine. This is not automatic. This is something you choose, you work for, you build yourself toward. And so for me, when I look at embodiment, it is me being the absolute epitome of what my deepest and most profound and beautiful hopes and dreams and desires are. Like, I am proof of the goals that I've ever set. I'm proof. I walk it. I live it. I own it. It's a part of me. That's why for embodiment, I embody power, prestige, prosperity. For that matter, I embody love. I embody healing. I embody, I was going to say mercy, but not the fuck right now. I don't. So, okay, we're going to end that shit right there. So we're going to stop. I'm going to stop while the fuck I'm ahead. Power, prestige, prosperity, love, friendship, healing, happiness, some shit like that, right? And be careful to think about what you really want to embody as you're using the product. It's important that you guys don't get to a space where you start elevating one thing over another. For instance, I can be the sweetest thing. Oh my God. It's sometimes where I do such sweet things that it feel like my pieces separate and start talking about it in front of me. Like, oh my God, that was so sweet. And then I'd be like, it was, wasn't it? And they'd be like, wow, I can't believe you're capable of it, right? But then there's a very savage aspect of me. And there are times when I could be so savage that I'd be proud of myself. I'd be like, oh, that was rough, bitch. That was rough. You did that shit. And it's like my pieces separate again. Like, bitch, you cold-blooded with it. Like, yeah, I'm a cold motherfucking piece. Yes, you are. And I've learned that both of those things can be celebrated and should be celebrated. You are not one thing. All these things are existing inside of you. So there's this illusion that because you don't have money in your pocket, you're poor, and that you are absolutely outside of prosperity. Or because right now there's sickness in your body, you are sick, or you have some kind of illness, so you are sick. And so healing is something all the way outside of you that you got to pull into you, and this, that, and the third. And so they have taught us to segment ourselves based upon all of the most negative aspects of what we can identify, and not the opposite way around. And that doesn't work anymore, loves. Embodiment helps you to realize that all things are present. What is it that I'm going to walk in today? Some days I be walking in some mass murderer type of mafia shit, and some days When I made that hashtag Mafia Magical, bitch was not lying. At that point in my life, I was on some other kind of shit with the way I was working my magic. I was like, I want to see all of this shit come to pass. I just want to see if I can even do it. I'm going to take over. You know what I'm saying? These 5 barrels, they mine. You know what I'm saying? So that's the kind of work that I was doing at the time. And so I embodied Mafia energy. I embodied this energy of the Godfather. I embodied this dangerous ass energy. Like, it is really fucking dangerous to play with me because I will repurpose your fucking soul energy for my benefit. And I still will do that. But there are other times where I have operated in this energy of, I understand, like a midwife or a what's the other one? A doula of some sort, like a life partner or coach that says, I know your pain, I understand it. I understand your fears, I understand, and I'm right here with you, and we're going to get through this together. And we hold hands and we walk through the darkest parts together. And both of those things exist inside of me. So when I need to embody this, I can call that up from within myself. When I need to embody that, I can call that up from within myself. When I need a nice little blend, you know, kind of like an Arnold Palmer, which you got your sweet tea and you got your lemonade, and you mix that shit together. You know, some people like more lemonade than tea. Some people like more tea than lemonade. You might need a specific blend to hit the mark of wherever you're headed. But all of it is inside of you, so you just call that up from within you. Embodiment is about discovering that it's all in there. Wait a minute. Was it Ragu or Prego? I can't. I don't know, y'all. Every time I be talking, I be remembering, like, I done heard that shit somewhere before. It's like randomly something to remind me of something. But I think it was Ragu was in there. It might have been Prego. But I'm pretty sure it was a damn tomato paste or spaghetti sauce or some shit. It's all in there. It's inside of you, including the bullshit and the betrayal and all of the shit that likes chaos, right? And you know what? I'm in a position where a little bit of chaos can be fun, and I got a little bit of time, and I got a whole lot of know-how of how to clean some shit up. All of you are not in that position. And that brings me to a warning that I want to give everybody before I get off of here. Be wise with where you lend your energy. Sometimes we don't see it, but just by jumping from here to here to here to here to here. See, everybody's always watching everything. I'm gonna tell y'all some shit that this one I really knew that people watch. So I had these Versace shades. They loud though. They're yellow and black. You know what I'm saying? There's some loud ass shades. But I wore them one time, and then it might have been months and months later, Aubrey wore them and somebody commented, those M shades. Now, never mind that maybe I could have bought her a pair of her own, or Tyria could have bought her a pair, she could have bought her own pair. Somebody just knew immediately that those were mine, right? Because people pay attention. So some of you are out here and you lend energy to everything. You agree with everything. You in and out of everybody's posts. And see, this is what you don't understand. And I'm only telling you this because, hey, I give a fuck, right? I could not give a fuck and just let you find out. It's like, fuck around, find the fuck out. But I'm telling you from a place, an honest place. If I decide, and I have decided, and it is happening. Okay, let me just start by clarifying that. But if I or anyone else decides, okay, I'm going after all of the energy that has been harnessed to be used against me. When a person decides to start a beef with anybody, they'd be like, oh, you know, so and so and so and so, they did this and they do this and they did this and they did this. Or they may start with some subtle stuff. It's like some people, yada, 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 yada. You jump under there, you show the fuck right, girl, because I'm going to tell you right now, blah, 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 blah. And they like, yeah, see, so-and-so agreeing with me. A real magician can take every comment, every like, every love, every reaction or interaction, and harness that, pull the energy from it, because the moment you click like, there is agreement there, okay? And they start to point that shit towards somebody else. This is how witch wars work, okay? They point this shit towards somebody else. If that person is a more powerful magician, or even just a smart one, and they start going after that energy to the source, those of you who call yourself just being cool with everybody now become a victim of the bullshit. And a lot of people know that. That's why they want a lot of people in between them and the shit that they start. They like, okay, I need to get as many people padded in here as possible. And it used to be a time where I didn't know how to get through that. But one of the things that my mentor told me before he retired, he said, the one thing about you that makes me confident is that you know that your magic is only limited by your imagination, and that's hard to get some people to realize. So he said, as long as you keep your mind active and you're thinking about your problem, I don't just burn a fucking candle, I'm thinking, what do I want to happen? What would be the ideal outcome for this? And in what way can I manipulate these things together to get to the big picture, right? So when I did some work and I said, everybody who's lended energy to hurt me, even a little bit, to hinder me, to slow me down, to harm my businesses, to harm my family, or my friends and my allies. And my allies mean anybody who loved me enough to have ever opened their mouth to defend me or anything like that. Or people who get attacked just because they're close to me. And attack can also mean people unfriending and blocking them and then talking shit about them after they know they can't find out. So when I get ready to harness that energy, what I'm doing is I'm getting it all. I'm not going to spare nobody. You got to understand that in this life, it would be nice if there were no fights, right? I am fully in alignment with no fights because there's never a reason to fight. But I'm also fully in alignment with refusing to lose one when I'm pulled into one. And so if you have to be a casualty of war, that's not my problem. Because the one thing y'all can't say I hadn't done is showed up and taught and taught and taught and taught and taught. I done did more free teaching than I have paid teaching. And that says something about what my commitment is about. It ain't about money. It is really about helping people. But if you can sit and be taught and be taught and be told and be told and be told and be shown and be shown and be shown and still choose something different, then I feel that your spirit team probably set you up. It has nothing to do with me. I'm not going to spare anyone who will lend even a hairline fracture of energy toward harming me. When I look at the things that I've seen my grandkids go through when I came into this path, because some people don't really give a fuck, I was like everybody else, you shouldn't include kids, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. People around me getting sick because I was too fortified for people to get to me, so you have to hit what's around me. And so when I saw that, I realized that this is not about what shouldn't happen. This is about dealing with what is as it presents itself, and stop fantasizing about a life that's not here right now. My participation in what I dream for, which is a world where we don't fight and argue with amongst each other, is I don't start shit. I refuse to start shit. And I refuse to react too quickly to shit that started with me. I'll give it a minute because I know how I can be. By the time I engage, there is nothing anybody can tell me, because I already done past the point of understanding, sweetness, you know what I'm saying, time 1, time 2, time 3, I'm out of cheeks. My first and my second cheek and my ass cheeks, all of them been used. So now it's time for me to step in and do whatever I do. I say all that to say, some of you need to clear yourself over the course of this weekend. Ground yourself, call all of your energy back. Y'all know I teach this. You call all of your energy back to you. You clean it up, you wash it, you set yourself back as autonomous and sovereign, and you make conscious decisions about what you're going to give energy to. I ain't seeking to scare nobody. I don't want to be feared. I prefer to be respected and loved, right? like anybody else. But some of you are in a bad situation, okay? You're in a bad situation because you're a coward. And you know what? We all got things we're afraid of. I have been a coward in my life, and it led me to some really low places, okay? And cowardice does that. A coward is a person who doesn't know how to own their true opinion, their true mindset, and just their truth altogether. They tend to become whatever is comfortable for the moment, right? They don't even know how to say, you know what, I'm not in this. Don't tell me nothing. They won't even say that. Or I don't want to talk about that. I saw that, but I ain't got no energy for it. And you keep scrolling. When you go through what I've been through to build what I have built, you will die 50 million deaths and cause 50 million more before you let anybody destroy it. Okay? And so you got to think about what you would do in my situation. Would you try to be nice and try to be mindful? Oh, I know that person. Well, maybe I don't. That's how I was. And that's why shit used to get out of hand. If you had built up your life to be, and some of you are going to head there. You're going to have your life built up. Your credit is going to be good. Your home is going to be great and comfortable. And your love life is going to be phenomenal. And your health is going to be great. And your finances will be what you want it to be. And your children will be where you want them to be. And someday, somebody's going to test it. Now, if you all love and light and you feel like, well, if it's for me, the universe just keep it for me. If I lose it, then it's okay. It's okay if it stays. It's okay if it goes. When you don't work for some shit, that's some bullshit. No, it ain't no fucking okay if it stays or it goes. I'm maintaining it by any means necessary. I embody all of this around me. To destroy this is to destroy me. Thus, I ain't in the mood to commit suicide or help a motherfucker destroy me. You got to start thinking for yourself and about yourself. Some of you so loyal to everybody else, including me, that you don't even know what the fuck is for you for real. You need to figure that out. You really need to figure out what's for you. You need to figure out who you are. You need to figure out what you're about. And you need to figure out where the fuck you're going. Because until you figure that out, all this magic talk and all this shit that you're doing, all these candles that you're burning, it ain't gonna never amount to nothing. You will always be in a circle trying to get through a light bill or trying to get through this breakup or trying to fix some bitch who done said some shit about you. You'll always be in one of them empty ass circles that never actually gets you anywhere commendable. You know, I walk in and out of the Fox studio around people who I'm pretty sure they judge me. Everybody at the Fox studio know that I got felonies. They know about my history. They know I got a temper. It's been many times where Daniel had to roll the tape. And we was talking about that yesterday when we was up there shooting. I said, oh shit, 2 times in a row. We didn't have to stop the tape. We went straight through, blah, 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 blah. And then somebody was like, well, you're a great speaker anyway. You got that thing. I was like, yeah, but sometimes, you know, it has been times when we had to stop tape because I get to cussing and shit. And I'd be like, wait, freeze, pause. The real me came out. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out how to be the real me without the cuss words. Like, I'd be like, and fuck. I'm like, oh, wait, cut. We gotta try that one again, right? And they know me. One of the first times I had a meeting with the manager of the Fox studio, because I don't know how to be appropriate. Sometimes I don't know how to be appropriate. So I'm having this meeting with him, and we were talking about Mississippi. And I said, yeah, it's way, way off in there. I said, you pass a whole lot of trees. I said, matter of fact, it looked like where white people used to hang niggas, like all the way down through there. And then he said, oh, I don't know, because I'm the only black person. No, Joel was there. So I'm the only black person in there that really, you know what I'm saying? Because Joel was, you know, he worked there. So when I said it, he was like, I don't know no places like that. That shit was so funny. I don't know no places like that. Homeboy started laughing. And I'm like, okay, but I'm telling you, the trees look like people used to be hanging from him. Like, it's deep off in Mississippi. He didn't know what to do. He turned red and shit. All of these white people, well, it's the truth. You know, they know how I am. And at the same time, they respect me for who I am. Because I don't give people room to do anything other than, right? And I respect people for who they are. You know, I'm going to tell the truth. If you can't stand the truth, hell, I ain't your bitch. Simple as that. And if you are fake and a phony, I'm still not your bitch. Because I'll probably call you out on it eventually. But I say all that to say I embody the fullness of Emme Rain, the creation that she is. She is me, and I'm her. And Magical Mystic, and Divinity Academy, and Legacy Builders Academy, and Moments of Mindfulness, the TV show, and Embossed Entertainment, and Dimensions Lounge, and Lanaco Media House, and all of these things, Legacy Holdings, is all of these things. That's me. That's me on a plate. And for anybody to attack any bit of any one of them,